What's up, guys? So last week I made a video about how I couldn't get any orders recently on DoorDash, and you guys flooded the comments on that video saying that you were having the exact same problem. So that got me thinking, what was a way that I could start making more money doing this? And after a lot of research, I came to the conclusion that multi-apping was the best way to make as much money as possible. And if you don't know what that is, multi-apping is simply having multiple apps open at one time. So doing DoorDash, doing UberEats all at once. That way you're not just sitting around not getting any orders, which is exactly what happened to me last week. So I've come back to the exact same area. It's the exact same day of the week. I'm going to be multi-apping today. I'm going to be doing DoorDash, UberEats. I'm not going to be doing GrubHub. I tried as hard as I could to get signed up for it, but my account is still under review for some reason. You know, I'm a pretty sketchy character, so I can understand why they would be reviewing me. But regardless, we're going to be using two apps today to see if we can get more orders. And by getting more orders, hopefully, possibly making more money. So I hope you guys find this video helpful. I hope it teaches you a little bit about how to multi-app. I'm kind of learning along the way. And if you do learn something from this video, all I ask is you would please like the video. It really helps out the channel a lot. And if you really want to make a difference, maybe consider subscribing. I appreciate you guys so much. The growth has been crazy lately, and we're on an upward trend towards 1 million subscribers. So if you haven't already, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment to let me know how I'm doing. And with that, let's dive straight into it. The app would only let me dash until 2:30, but that's fine. Prime lunch hours right there. So I got to run into the first restaurant. I had never been here before, but it was a pretty decent order. And when I made it inside, I found that they claimed that they had the best hot chicken dish, which especially in Nashville is a huge deal. But I can tell you right now, even if their hot chicken was good, their timing was not. They seriously took forever to get me my food. Kept telling me it would be just a minute. It was never just a minute. But luckily the tip was good, so that was a little bit redeeming. Then got this order on Uber Eats. It was pretty good, but took me way out of my DoorDash zone, so I decided to head back to my original spot, and I was rewarded with orders like this on DoorDash. It was terrible. So I ended up just staring at the blue line, going back and forth on the Uber Eats app, waiting for orders, not getting orders, waiting for orders, not getting orders. It was terrible. When I finally did get one, it certainly wasn't great at all, but I took it. I put my DoorDash orders on pause and went into another new restaurant for me. Luckily, this one was incredibly on top of it, and I got my food right away. And as soon as I dropped this off, I got another order on Uber Eats for Chick-fil-A. Again, not great at all, but I really had nothing better to do, so I accepted it. Unfortunately, if you'll remember, you don't see your Uber Eats tips until after the delivery is made, which made this message incredibly painful. I knew right away I wasn't going to be getting much money for this one. Unfortunately, I had already grabbed the food and was on my way, so there was nothing I could do about it. And after that, there really wasn't anything going on in my area, so I headed over to another side of town where I thought that hopefully there would be more orders. And when I got there, it looked incredibly promising, but I got nothing, absolutely nothing, except for this incredibly sorry Uber Eats order. DoorDash was dead, Uber Eats wasn't far behind, and I was left sitting in a parking lot waiting for nothing. All right, so we've just hit the 1.5 hour mark, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it has been a very disappointing 1.5 hours. I feel like this is how these videos have started to go recently, is we've started off really enthusiastic, and then about 10 minutes later, we're already disappointed, and by the time I hit the 1.5 hour mark, I feel like giving up. I'm not gonna give up yet, because that's not what this video is about. This video is about multi-apping, but I do wanna fill you guys in. As far as revenue goes so far, I don't really know, because if you'll remember, Uber Eats doesn't actually show you your tips until an hour after you make the delivery, so it's not very clear on how much I've made, but I'm gonna guess it's like $20-ish, maybe even a little less, especially because of the message I got from that guy. That is incredibly frustrating. I was like almost to his place when he sends me that incredibly helpful message. I don't really know how you respond to that, so I opted not to. I figure if you don't have anything nice to say, just don't say anything at all. Good little life lesson for you. But I am a little frustrated at this point. It's not the fault of multi-apping at all. I mean, this actually makes a ton of sense. The longer I've been going, the more I've been thinking about it. It makes tons of sense to have multiple apps on at one time. I mean, if you don't have a DoorDash order and an Uber Eats order that pops up is kind of worth it, why not take it? There's really no harm in having both apps open, because you have that ability to pause whenever you get a good order that you want to take. So Uber Eats opens, pause DoorDash, and then what I've been doing is, as I get close to the place, I've been opening the app back up, so I let it know, hey, I'm willing to take orders at this point because it's only going to be a minute before I drop off the food and I can go get it. But that's not how it's worked out at all, because I'm not getting like any orders. Uber Eats, not totally surprising, just because I haven't ever really gotten that many Uber Eats orders in my area. It's just not that popular of an app around here. But DoorDash also have not gotten an order in a long time, way longer than Uber Eats. I don't know what is going on with DoorDash right now, but we're gonna keep going. Hopefully I start to get some orders kicked my way. It's only 1 o'clock. I mean, we're still in that prime lunch rush time, but nothing right now. I've been moving around. I'm in a new area. We'll see what happens. Hopefully you guys start to see me making the video about all the orders I'm getting. My hopes are not super high, but I'll fill you in later. As soon as I was done recording that, the hotspots updated, and I was literally right next to a hotspot. I thought that would be a good sign. It wasn't. I didn't get any orders from that restaurant. However, I did get another order from a different restaurant, and this one was pretty promising. I walked in, the staff was incredibly friendly, the restaurant was super nice, everything was going great, but they did take forever to actually get me my food. Come to find out, this bag right here was my order, and it sat there, and they were super confused about where my food was. It was literally sitting there. So that was disappointing, and I did have quite a drive to get to this place, but the drive was beautiful. Always love these back roads, and I know I've told you guys this before, but whenever you're delivering to a neighborhood of absolute mega mansions, you're usually in for a big tip. I mean, look at these houses. This is crazy money here, and sure enough, I was right. Big tip on this one. Always appreciate that a lot, but that was about where my luck ran out, because after that, I headed back to the area I was picking up food in and got nothing. All right, guys, the lunch rush is officially over. lunch rush. The lunch time is officially over. We just hit the 2 o'clock mark, which means that I've been doing this for 2.5 hours now, and I am officially cutting it off for the day. And the reason is because in 2.5 hours, I have gotten 4 orders that were worth taking. I got some other ones that were absolute garbage. We never take those, but 4 actual legitimate orders that were worth taking. And for those of you, if you haven't been following my channel very closely, that is terrible, tragically bad. 4 orders in 2.5 hours. You're never gonna keep up a good rate there. I'm gonna go grab some lunch real fast, and then I'm gonna come back and give you guys an update on how much I made. I should be getting those tips to fall into the Uber Eats pretty soon here, so I'll know exactly how much I made in 2.5 hours, but it's not good. I can already tell you that right now. We really got bumped up by that last delivery. I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna kind of inflate the numbers a little bit and make it look a little less painful than it actually was. But today, like many days in the past couple weeks, has been incredibly slow. It's really starting to make me wonder if this is a viable side hustle that you can do throughout the year. But once we find out exactly how much we made, I'll kind of dive into that a little bit more. I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Can you get a name for your order?
It's Justin.
What can I get for you?
Can I get a spicy chicken sandwich meal with no pickles, a large fry, and a Sprite to drink? All right. Only food I've been able to pick up all day. Brutal. I got my chicken sandwich, my fries, got my Sprite, which is the superior fountain beverage at any fast food restaurant. But what I don't have is a lot of money, unfortunately. So I have finally gotten my tips. They weren't amazing. And when you go in and break it down a little bit, from DoorDash, over 2.5 hours, I made $22.50 off of 2 deliveries, and on Uber Eats, once tips finally came through, I made $9.77 off of 2 deliveries. Terrible. And when you add that up, I believe you get $32.27. And when you take that number and divide it by 2.5 hours, which is how long I was out on the road, you end up with a whopping less than $13 an hour. And that does not include factoring out the cost of gas, the cost of just operating this vehicle. So when you deduct all of that, I told you guys that's about $4 per hour usually. So you can bring that all the way down to like making $9 an hour. And at that point, why didn't I just go get a part-time job to make money? Because I would have made way more than $9 an hour. Brutal. Like I told you guys at the start of the video, a lot of you commented saying that you were having similar problems right in these past couple of weeks, and there's a couple reasons that people continually brought up thinking why this was happening. The first one was just an oversaturation of drivers. A lot of people think that there are just a ton of people out on the road right now, and I definitely think that's possible. I can tell you when I'm going into the restaurants, I'm seeing so many people standing around as DoorDash drivers waiting to pick up food. So I think that definitely is part of it. That would explain why orders are so infrequent, because if there are just so many people on the road, DoorDash is probably trying to distribute that to people, and unfortunately that just means you get a lot less orders. So that's one theory. The second theory, which I also kind of agree with, is some people said, you know, during January a lot of people have been spending a lot of money through the holidays, myself included, and now that they're coming out of that season, they're trying to save as much money as possible. So just as a whole, regardless of your market, order volume goes down. I definitely think that's possible. I can tell you personally that I don't ever get food delivered, but I especially wouldn't be doing that right now when money is a little bit tighter. And I think that as a general population, that's a pretty agreeable theory. People don't want to spend more money when they have less money. Economics. So that's kind of where we're at right now. January has been pretty rough so far, and I'm not gonna lie, the channel's been doing really well with these negative videos about how much DoorDash sucks and all this stuff, but I don't enjoy making them because I'm a pretty positive person and I want to look at this from the bright side and think that things will turn around. I've seen it at $25+ an hour. I know that's possible, but right now it's not happening. So with all of that said, obviously today was my first day doing multi-app. I really actually enjoyed it a lot from the perspective of knowing that I was making more money than if I had been in one app. That sounds crazy given the amount of money that I made, but I did make a lot more money than if I had just had DoorDash open. So we'll take that bonus $10. It's better than nothing, and I would definitely recommend multi-apping to people in the future. The one thing that it does add is a little bit of complexity. I'm not gonna lie to you, this job is almost brainless most of the time, but when you're running two apps at one time, you kind of have to be paying attention, being on your toes, making sure that you know which app is paused, which app is going, and accepting the orders pretty quickly to make sure that you don't get a better order in the other app or have to deny something. It's really not that difficult, but it is a little bit more difficult, so I just wanted to throw that warning out there. And obviously you never want to be switching between apps and doing all that while you're driving, so just keep all of that in mind if you're going to be multi-apping. I recommend it, and while it didn't work out for me today, I think it will work out in the future. So with all of that being said, I appreciate you guys so much for watching. I'd really love to hear your guys' stories. You guys left a ton of comments on the last video. I want to hear more. What are your thoughts on the markets right now? What are your thoughts on food delivery in general? Is something going wrong on my end, or is this just how it is these days? So like I said, again, I appreciate you guys so much. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, leave those comments, maybe even share this video with a friend if you found it helpful. I appreciate you guys so much. I think that's the third time I've said that in this outro, but I'm leaving it because for the fourth time, I do appreciate you guys so dang much. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you soon.